What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Motivating Dan. Listen, I've been talking about making this video for a while now. This is going to be mods. How to create mods in Orcs Must Die 3. Now, I'm glad I waited a little bit because now that there's a new update, things change. Mods need to update. I went ahead and removed my 2 mods from Nexus Mods, but if you are interested, and I'm going to be remaking those because there are different files, things that change in the base game, and they conflict with your mods, and they can cause crashes. So you want to make sure that if you use mods, we'll kind of go over some of the mod etiquette maybe at the end of the video, because the beginning of the video is going to be about how you get started, and we're even going to create a mod in this video. It's going to be a pretty easy one to test. Don't have to do a whole lot with it, but this is just how to get kind of, involved. Now, Nels is probably the #1 modder. I know Time Master's made some stuff as well. As you can see, Time Master down here, and then Nels for the other ones. So whenever you click on these mods, for example, let's do Sandbox mod, right? It's going to take you to this page, and this is on Nexus Mods. That's where all the mods are stored. There's going to be a button that you can click here under OMD Modding Discord. Feel free to join, okay? Whenever you click on that, this is the modding Discord that you have. This document right here, the Google document from Nels, is going to give you everything you need to create mods. So we're going to go ahead and click on that, and it's got everything listed out to get started. Now, for the basics, you really only need 3 things. You need 3 things. You need the starter kit. You need F model. And then you need asset editor. Those are the 3 things you need. So we're going to go ahead and get asset editor here. So we'll download that zip and we'll put that on our desktop. And then for F model on this page, you're actually going to go to where it says for installation, follow the instructions here. You're going to click on that, and that's going to take you to this page where you click get the latest release, and that's going to do a download. So we're going to go ahead and save that one. So now we've got asset editor. Now we've got F model, and the last thing we need is the folder structure thing here. So we're going to go ahead and download that as well. While that's downloading, let's go ahead and extract these. We're going to extract that one. Let's extract that one. Okay. Get rid of those 2 folders. We don't need them. Let's check on our download here. Yeah, there we go. OMD3 mods. It's going to be zipped. We're going to extract that. Okay, so we have our OMD3 mods folder, we have our asset manager, and we have our F model. Now, in the OMD3 mods, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and under tools, I'm going to get rid of quick BMS. I'm going to get rid of useful bats. Probably don't need like any of this here, I think. I'm not exactly sure if you need any of this, so I'm going to keep the rest of it, but I don't think so. But we are going to put in the utilities master, which is our asset editor, and we're going to put F model in here as well. So that's all going to be under our OMD3 mods. Now, the way that this is structured, and we'll do follow along, step-by-step follow along on how to make the mods happen. The structure matters, right? So in your mods folder, there's a default template. This OMD folder is the folder that matters. So whenever you go into the game files, for example, let's go. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the game here. It's going to be there. So it's going to be under the Steam Apps Common OMD3 OMD Content Packs folder, right? Starting at the C drive, Program Files 86. This is how you get to the game itself. Okay, and this is where you're going to put your mods whenever you're finished with them, or if you download them from Nexus Mods, this is where you're going to put them. I'm going to go into Content and Packs. The OMD Content part is the most important part, which is why you see OMD Content already listed in this OMD3 mods folder from Nels. He already organized it to where it needs to be. Now, under this content, you might have other folders depending on what you're creating, but this is the base template, right? So if we go over here, you'll see the OMD contents. Now, in your packs folder, this is where all your packs are going to be, and we're going to unload all these packs so that way we can make modifications. You put a mod folder in here, and in that mod folder is where you're going to put your mods, okay? So if you don't have a mods folder in your Orcs Must Die 3 game files, go ahead and create that mods folder inside your packs folder. Okay, so that's this screen here that we're looking at is the game itself. we don't need that right now. So we're going to exit out of it. But this is going to be where we're going to create our mods. Now, what I'm going to do is, because we're going to have multiple mods, I have 4 or 5 that I want to make. I'm actually going to take this default template and I'm going to copy it a bunch of times. Okay. And then this default template, I'm going to name it double trap cost, because that's the first one that I'm going to make. And this is super easy to test, really easy to modify. It's all in one file that we have to modify, so we don't have to go through a bunch of different ones. And it's so easy to test. You just jump into the game and it's already right there. You don't have to start the game or anything. Okay, so that's going to be what this one is. And then we're going to make another one. We're going to call it No Flyers. This is another one that I'm going to make. And then this one's going to be Change Fire Reduction. I'm going to do that because I have a video idea where we use fire traps on lava maps, but with fire bats and with fire fiends, or not fire fiends, fire bats and fire elementals, they're immune. I need to make them not immune to it anymore. As well as for the ice ones, I need to make ice bats not immune to ice, because I want to use only ice damage. And same with, I guess the other two don't matter. Maybe, yeah. And then for this one, I'm going to make this one double HP for very heavy enemies. So it's going to be ogres, trolls, armored ogres, mountain trolls, earth lords, fire lords, anything that's listed as very heavy, to include bosses. That's what that one's going to be. And this last one, we'll figure out what that's going to be later on. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is going to be the double trap cost. Now, before we get to that point, okay, this is just the organizational point. Now we have to actually do something. We have to unpack the game itself. So we're going to go into F model. Whenever you load this up, you're going to choose run anyway. For me, it's already loaded, but for you, it might look like this. You might have this directory selector. You're just going to go into this location. There we go. Okay, so you just select that folder. Once you've highlighted it, it should detect the game for Orcs Must Die 3 within it. Then you click OK. All the stuff on the left is the game archives are going to load. So we're going to select all with Control A, and then we're going to click load. That's going to load all of them. Now, if we want, we can Control Shift F, and we can search for things. So F model is a really good way to search for what you want, and then it will tell you where it is. So for example, if we want to change the cost of a trap, which is what we're going to do, let's figure out where it is, and then we'll be able to navigate to the same spot in Asset Manager. So, and this is before we unpack anything. We're also going to have to unpack everything. You don't have to do everything, but you can. And we're definitely going to, because we're going to be modifying different parts of different pieces of this. So let's say I want to go to one of the traps. So let's do acid. What is it called? Which have regular acid, deep freeze. Okay, we can do deep freeze. All we need to figure out is where this value for cost is stored. Now I know where it is, but let's pretend like I don't. So we see some stuff here. We see some deep freeze stuff here, data, some app data. We don't need that. We have some attributes. Okay, so if we open up attributes, we can see this only is primary damage. So let's go into here. Doesn't look like anything here. Yeah, just like how it functions. And same with this one. This is just kind of how it functions. So what we're going to do now is we're going to type in the word proto. Actually, protos. The protos is where you're going to find some of your stuff. So trigger effects, trap protos, tip protos. I don't know what proto stands for, but this is actually where you find everything together. So this is going to have all of the traps listed out, coin value, cooldown, reset delay, trigger delay, all that stuff that's going to be here. So what we need is the trap protos file for us to modify, because we're going to modify the coin value of everything. All right, so F model is a very good way to search. Again, you just have to select. If everything is loaded in the archives, all you have to do is select anything, Control Shift F, and then you can search for whatever you want. Once you find it, you'll know what file it is, and then you'll be able to navigate to it whenever you go into Asset Editor. Okay, So in order to do this, what we need to do is right click on each of these, and we're going to have to extract folders packages. Now, we want to manage where those are going to go. So we're going to change our output directory from this, or whatever it was, and we're going to take it back to the folder that we have created specifically for this. We're actually going to take us into tools. We're going to put this into F model, and we're going to select the output. This is where it's going to go. It's going to go into this folder here. So OMD3 mods under tools, we put F model in here. That whole folder of F model, we put that in there. And now we're going to select output. So we're going to select that folder. It's going to be our export folder. And now we're going to export them as .u assets. Okay, the first one's going to finish. It's a little bit of a bigger one compared to some of these. Now, it actually doesn't take that long. There's not a ton of packs to go through. You can probably do it in like, I don't know, 7 to 10 minutes. And it'll turn blue, and it'll be done. Okay, so now, and we'll be doing all of these, but now if we go into here, we'll notice that this one was modified recently because this one has new stuff in it. Okay, whenever you export, whenever you export the folders packages, it's actually going to put them right where they need to be in the same file folder structure that's in the game that it pulled them from. It's going to put them back into that same structure, which is very important. The structural integrity of where the files are kept is a very important thing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the export folder packages for everything else, and I'll be right back with you when we're finished. All right, guys, I'm just finishing up on the last one. That didn't take very long. You probably see the timestamp on the bottom right corner of my screen from when I was started to where I finished. Okay, so I got all those unpacked, right? And I know the one I need, so we don't necessarily need F model, but like I said, it is very good. Once you're done to search for stuff, we'll have to load it all, and then to search for things that you need, and then you can see which chunk they're part of. For example, all the protos are part of the same pack chunk, but yeah. So we're not going to use F model for the rest of this video. However, we are going to do something very important. Now, this is a very important step as well. So folder integrity of where things are stored. Oh, I guess I have my webcam maybe in the way sometimes. Where things are stored is very important because the game has to have it under OMD content, and then where the pack files are stored, like where the actual like UA assets are, or U assets are at, you have to mirror that within making the mods. So file locations are very important, but also the integrity of the file itself. So if you're going to modify it, you're going to want to make sure you make backups, okay? So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to do a backup for everything here. So under our OMD3 mods, we're going to go into our tools F model output. Now, everything here, we're not going to modify anything within the F model output folders. We're actually going to pick and choose the U assets files that we need to modify. We're going to move them somewhere else. So I know the ones that I need is going to be under OMD content data. And it's going to be the trap protos. So we're going to get both the U EXP and the U asset. I'm going to copy those. Go back into OMD3 mod folder. We're going to go into mods, default template, and this is going to be for the double trap cost. Okay, so we're going to put that here. Okay, now this is the location we're going to modify stuff at. We're not going to modify it under the F model outputs. That's going to be our base packs. And if we really want to, we can then go and change it to, or we could even like back that up as well. Because whenever you start making changes, especially when you have a lot of different ones and you need to go and change something specifically, it's just easier that way. And that's why we create these folders here. And then the SRC is going to be everything else. So whenever we're done with our mods, we're going to put in the SRC folder. And then these are all going to be the specific files we've modified to get those mods. The SRC is going to be the completed, finalized mods. And then our F model export folder is going to have the base pack files from the game itself that we copied to use over here to modify. Okay. Hopefully I didn't confuse anybody, but it is very important that you don't overwrite files, or else you're going to have to re-export the files from fmodel into those folders again to be able to modify it again. So it's so much easier to try to organize everything and make copies of everything. Okay. So we have the UAsset file that we need, and we have it copied over to our mod folder that we're going to make the mod out of. So now we need to change the stuff in the mod. So we're going to go back to our tools, and this time we're going to go into our asset editor. Okay. It's going to pull up. Make sure you choose 4.25 over here on the top right. And now we're going to open it. Interesting. Okay, yeah, double trap cost, OMD content, trap rotos. So here's that. I'm going to open up our code block, data tables, error wall. All right, everything here, we're just going to basically double the trap cost every time that has a trap cost. Some of these are not going to have that because they just don't. For example, the environmental grinder pits, the environmental boom barrels, cauldrons, that sort of stuff, they don't have that. So I'm just going to go through and modify all of the prices for all of the traps, and I will be back with you when I'm finished. Okay, I just got done modifying, so you just type the number in and either click off it or press enter or whatever, and that changes the number. The only value we needed to change was the coin value. So now that we've done all the changes we need to do with this UAsset, we're going to go File, Save As. We just make sure that it's in the right place and we're saving the right one. So we're going to save it. We're going to replace it. It's going to save the file. Great. Now, if we were to open the file from the same location, it would look the same. So now what we need to do is we need to package the folder. But you might have noticed I did something incorrect. Remember how I said the file structure matters? Well, where I have these files here, it's not exact. It doesn't add up. So here's what it needs to look like, and here's what it looks like, right? So if we go into Tools and go to fmodel, right where we pulled these files from, we go into Exports, we go into OMD, we go into Content, we go into Data, and then we scroll down. This is where we pulled it from, right? The trap protos. You might notice that this says OMD Content, and here they are. But this is OMD Content Data, and here they are. So we actually need to put these files in a data folder. So we're going to create a new folder and we'll call it data. Now we'll put these into that folder. So the folder structure matters. Okay. So I'm going to hit package folder. We're going to go to the trap double cost. We're going to click OMD. This is the one that we need. This is the root folder. Select folder. It's going to create us a pack file. Okay. Now if we go back into here, we'll see that we have this pack file that's the thing. Now, the 500 in the front has to do with the loading of the mods. So if you have multiple mods, which one loads first? And it's, I believe it's a lower number or a higher number. Join the Discord, and if you got questions about it, we can, well, I guess Nels, I'm volunteering Nels to give you more information about that. But it also might be in that document that he wrote up as well. I didn't read all the way through it. I just read enough of it to figure out how to do this stuff because, I don't know, maybe I have ADHD or something. But it is important that whenever you name it, you don't get rid of the _P or the 500 dash. The 500 dash has to do with the value of it loading, and the _P, I'm not sure what that's supposed to do, but it has to be there, okay? So we're going to do double trap cost. Okay, that's what this one's going to be called. And it's under our double trap cost. So here's that. We're going to move it to our SRC folder. And this is where we're going to keep all of our mods whenever we're finished. Okay? And then in here's where we're going to have our files that we're modifying, so that way we can go back and modify them differently later if we need to, right? Okay, so we have that figured out. Let's go into our SRC. So now we need to test this. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy it. We're going to put it in our mods folder. Remember how I said to create this mods folder in the very beginning? Yep, Steam Maps, Common, Orcs Must Die 3, OMD Content, Packs, Mod folder. You have to create that folder. We'll put it in here. And now all we need to do is launch the game. And now we should see the arrow wall instead of 600 is 1200. And look at that. So now we have officially doubled the cost of all of our traps. Okay? It's that easy. That's the mod. That's a basic mod. It's very, very easy to do because, like I said, there's only one file, so you only have to worry about one folder location, one file location within a folder. We had to add the data folder there, right? In that hierarchy of folders. And because it's harder instead of easier, we don't have to modify score for enemies. Now, this is going to be an important announcement. There's a couple of these important announcements scattered throughout, so hopefully you watch it all whenever you're going through to figure out how to do this. The important announcement is, if it's going to make the game easier, it is best practice, and this is even mentioned in his document, it is best practice to modify. Actually, let me see if I can find it here. Leaderboard management. Any mod that affects the balance of the game to allow higher scores must disable scores on enemy kills. So all you do is you just change the score from enemies to 0. This will make robots entertainment life easier. So, yeah. I mean, obviously they're not going to say no to the modding community even if it gets crazy. But at the same time, it's just common courtesy. Have fun with the mods and mess around with them. And yeah, it's located in the pack trunk. So it actually tells you which one to do. So it's AI character protos U asset. So all you got to do is grab that, change the score on death field to 0, and that disables the scores basically from most of the things. Like, you're not going to be able to get high score with that. Okay, guys, that being said, that's been the modding thing that we talked about. I guess one other thing I can mention at the end, if you want to reverse engineer somebody's mod, get their mod, load it up with asset management, and then you're able to see everything that they've done and all the changes they've made. You'll have to load up like the original file and load up their file at the same time, and you just cross-reference to figure out what changes they've made and where those changes have been. Or you can ask them. Like I said, join the Discord, ask away what people have done, and I'm going to go ahead and upload this to Nexus Mods now. But feel free to make your own, upload them to Nexus Mods, keep them for yourself, whatever you want to do. Maybe give them to somebody else, they can upload it, and then you can just create them. Whatever it is you want to do, it's there, it's doable. There's a lot that we don't know. Custom apps are not a thing. any like adding stuff is difficult, but there is ways to add your own enemies as well. And it has more information about that in here for some of the advanced editing. Creating new creatures, new abilities, whatever the case is. That's more advanced stuff, more technical stuff I don't know about. I haven't done it before, so. But the information's there, the resources are there, the people are there to help you. Have fun creating mods for Orcs Must Die 3. Guys, as always, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow us, Twitch, and I will catch you on the flip side. All right, deuces.